Hey everyone, welcome to Spoiler Warning. Here we are again.
Yeah, it's all. Well, I have found that the energy intro is good, but generally, like, we need somewhere to go from there, or else it's just
Welcome back to my
just
Guild
just the
Wars ASMR lore channel.
Is this what happens when you just get obliterated by allergies?
Did you
Okay,
know about
are you
the
now prepared
origins
to-
of the
Okay.
name Yak's Bend and Traveler's Bend?
No, tell me more.
So the funny thing about this is that Darth Vader didn't have a rank in the Empire at
Alright.
first, and so like Palpatine had to give
God.
him a rank, and they made a big deal about it in a comic book once, and it was so cool, guys.
Glitch was
Yeah, I lost the
complaining
plot
about
there a little.
getting YouTube shorts like that to me last night.
Oh, they're so dumb. It's always like, oh, Darth
They are very dumb.
did the most
Like,
generic
a lot
thing.
of AI voices too. Like it's very much like the lowest effort fucking content.
I'm like, where's this coming from? I can't dislike it enough.
So we had some trouble last time, and I realized after we finished recording why, which is that Yak's Bend is the first area that allows for 6-man parties. So we were running around under strength there. Let's bring an extra healer and Orion. That should help. You'll have some help on the healing now, Chris, so it won't be completely up to you to keep us all alive.
These GX only have 4 vertices on their edge loops.
Cool. We can now leave. We can go. We can go and kill all
All
the
right,
dwarfs.
let's fucking go.
But
kick
the
some ass.
vertices. We look like a superhero
So-
party now with all 6 of them.
Yeah, these henchmen.
That is literally what they're called.
I missed when we got these. When was that?
Just now. You can
Off
invite
screen?
them in any, like, outposts. I just invited them to the party.
I see. Is this an ability we have unlocked at Yak Bend?
No, they've
or
always
is
been
this
there in
just
the
a-
event that that you didn't have enough people to make, like, a full party.
That's nice.
Domination magic sounds good to me.
I do quite like the hireling system in Baldur's Gate 3, where you can recruit party members and change their class pretty freely that just don't have, like, a thing going on with them.
Yeah, there's actually Guild Wars Nightfall added a similar system to this game where you get like fully customizable party members that act mostly like player characters, and that you can like equip them and control, you know, what kind of skills they have and what kind of equipment and runes they have and so on. Although it does kind of turn the game into a party management simulator at that point, especially if you're running alone otherwise, because you're dealing with like setting up 8 fucking bars.
Like,
One
this
time
whole
Josh and I
tangent
went
is
to
just-
play the... Oh, sorry.
This whole tangent is as old as... No, I was just gonna say, like, it's as old as fantasy role-playing. You know, the earliest editions of D&D, basically, when you have a game that is only about killing enemies in a dungeon, and where the only appreciable, personal progress you're making is either clearing out new levels of the dungeon or getting lots of money. The obvious thing to do is combine money with people and make the problem more manageable. It's just that it
Yeah.
turns out not everybody really likes that part or wants to worry about it, and so eventually it starts to get deprecated in the tabletop versions of the game. But hey, with a computer, you can just have, like, little AI routines managing all these people. You don't actually have to, like, individually, personally decide what they're doing as much as you would decide
And
what your
yet-
PC's doing.
That
Yeah,
leads into the
the,
story I was going to tell, which is one time I tried to get back into this game with Josh, and I was letting him handle all the NPCs, so that meant it was a party of 2, and he had like, how many
6
heroes can you have? 6?
Well, 7, including my bar. You can have 7.
Yeah. So you were managing 7 bars. Anyways, 2 hours after we started playing, we had not done a single. We had just stayed in town while Josh set things up.
I don't remember.
Needless
this
to say, we didn't play very.
Anecdote.
And we were trying to do Eyes of the North. Eyes of the North? Eye of the North? The later
North?
campaign. DLC? Is it? Is it DLC?
It's
I
an
think it would be-
expansion.
I think it would be interesting to compare the time saved by Josh doing that against the time I cost the group. I think that would lead to some interesting conclusions.
Oh, hey, you just leveled up.
Oh, sick.
Now you have more
I
skill
have
points, not to
6 unspent points. Not too bad.
I mean, the advantage of using heroes is that you can make them way better than henchmen, because the henchman bars tend to be not fantastic, especially early on in campaigns like where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we are getting hit.
Yeah, this is where we had.
We're definitely handling it better than before. But we are starting to lose people.
Trying to get them off. Our second. I'll get Aaliyah up.
Shit.
Oh no, you already did. Nice.
Somebody got him.
Alicia. Alessa?
I believe it's Alicia.
God damn it, that of all the things I said, that wasn't one of them.
Disco Elysia. Hey Josh, you forgot your Stone Summit badge.
Oh, you're right. Thank you for reminding me, Red Scarn.
I know what we're gonna do when we get to the top of the summit.
Hey,
We don't have
Glitch,
your
you
badge.
forgot your Stone Summit badge.
Just
I
keep an eye
know
out
I
if you
will
see
send
my
you
Stone Summit badge. I wonder how hard these Stone Summit scouts had to work to get all their badges. Like, it's the sort of thing
Well,
where,
they
like,
had
if you're
to
showing
walk.
up and, like, your parents are involved, you're probably going to get most of them, or is it, like, still an accomplishment, you know?
Well, they probably had to walk old dwarven ladies across the street. Learn how to tie dwarven knots.
I suspect, actually, most of it was killing.
Oh yeah, yeah, and the
In this particular case, yes.
When you say dwarven knots, like, are there types of knots that are, like, regional?
oh well,
That's a good question.
consult the Guild Wars ASMR lore channel, and you'll find out.
Like, there are definitely knots that are profession limited, but actually, like, do people across the world tend to discover the same kinds of knots for the same jobs? That is an interesting question.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, because I'm like, is that what you meant, Glitch?
Often when you ask a question, I can
Yes,
bullshit an
I'm
answer to it. I just
profound.
don't have one right now. I am equally stuck and perplexed.
They have a Mesmer boss.
To be clear, you're
Not
mostly
long.
asking questions about things that I just happen to know about. It's very probable that you ask many questions not for spoiler warning that I would be equally clueless about.
Alright, I've stopped him from
Just
casting
usually
empathy
during
on you
spoiler
twice
warning.
now, so that's cool.
I think we just generally have a good hit rate for questions each of us ask while playing spoiler warning, generally, come to think of it.
Well, I've come up with a new one.
I do know one thing. Given an infinite amount of time, I will not figure out any knot, including the ones that I am actively reading the instructions for. I have a super
I've never
fucking
been very
hard
good
time
at
with
knot
knots.
tying.
I
Like, I
literally
can't-
don't. Oh, go ahead.
You literally don't what?
I was gonna say I literally don't understand like the whole field of like topography or whatever. Like how many holes does a thing have, or how do you build knots in your head? I don't like. I play video games all the time. My wife is freaked out by how spatially I think,
You
and
do?
because I just like, well, because I, yes, but God damn it.
What a surprise!
Yes, but yes, like you build a lot of spatial like pathways.
But I
playing
have
video
no
games
idea how to build a
regularly.
knot.
No, yeah,
Like, I just-
it doesn't cross over.
Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean that was basically
I
what I was
knew
gonna say.
exactly one knot.
I
My
think
entire-
that basically there is a kind of like mental pathway you have that makes it easier to like figure out where something is relevant to like another thing in space and like how it can move and change that interaction. And I struggle with that kind of translation routinely in any context.
Yeah, the only way I ever learned knots was muscle memory. I couldn't tell you how to make a knot. I know several knots for like ties and such, but I couldn't explain it to anyone, and I couldn't show anyone either. I'd have to do it.
I think I'm also bad at holding things like in place.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Borless Pass. The next mission.
Yay! Oh, this is a good one. Oh, get me
God.
the corpse teleportation spell. Portion spell?
Yeah, you
portion
can
out
fuck
those
around
fucking
with that.
corpses for me.
I don't think that's
Yeah, in this
available
game there's
this
a-
early in the campaign.
There's a spell with which you can teleport to corpses. It's a necromancer spell.
Necrotic
And it
traversal.
came out later in the game than these missions. And so there's some corpses that are beyond the world that you're not supposed to get to that you can teleport, including some that really mess up cuts. I'd
Is it
love
like,
to have it on my...
When you say mess up cutscenes, this is like that there's a component of the cutscene that is happening somewhere on the map that you're not supposed to be able to access.
Yes.
Yes.
Does everybody else see this? Am I? Are all the
No.
henchmen
Questioning
looking
why
away
they're all
for?
looking-
Yeah, why are
that
they
is
all
weird.
looking away?
They're ashamed
You've
of our
been
knot tying ability.
discommendated by the Klingon High Council.
I think they're just
They're
fucking
just-
rude.
It was creepy because I was just walking around in a big MMO and I turned the corner and there's like 6 people all intently staring away from me.
Oh, I only see
Nothing.
3 of them staring away. I actually see the 3 on the right-hand side all looking forward.
Huh.
Or I say
They're
3,
all right
4.
from-
4 on the right-hand side. That's fascinating. Hey, I wonder why that is.
Okay, so on this mission, we need to go. I believe we're lighting beacons to help move our people through the pass before a big storm hits. Also, the dwarves don't like us. Well, some of the dwarves don't like us. There's a dwarf civil war going on, actually. So the Stone Summit are one side, and the Deldrimor dwarves are the other side. I don't think we've really met any Deldrimor dwarves yet. Anyway,
Josh,
we're gonna
I'm
go
gonna
hang
need you
out
to
with the
redo that
Deldrimor
line in an
dwarves, and
ASMR
everything will be
voice.
great.
I feel the need to say about this game because
There's a dwarf civil war going on right now.
I'm just whenever you're done with this, and it could be at any moment, I will continue.
Sorry, look.
No.
Which gave me
don't
the setup,
apologize
but,
to me.
you know.
Yeah, you have to listen to it
He's
during the
apologizing.
editing. So.
Yeah, that is true.
What was I talking about? Oh, okay. I was
don't
gonna
know.
say since I've
didn't know it
committed
the
to
first
not
time.
like. Since I've committed to not delving the lore of this game, I do want to say, like, I find it. I think it's commendable how the story finds all kinds of things for you to do within this conflict, which aren't just like going out and killing the enemies in the conflict, because it would have been very easy for that to be the only kind of like quest objective.
Yeah, they're pretty creative about it.
Even like even like not paying attention to what the text box are saying. Like I get the sense of a more complex chapter of history than like just
Oh my
everyone
God.
was killing everybody else.
Unless that's an everlasting tonic glitch, the second we go into the mission, you're going to turn back into your normal pink self.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Which should be right now. Well, okay, actually, the timer took longer than I expected, but sure.
Oh, I had to load new assets.
So Rurik has kind of gone ahead of us here.
I'm sorry.
So one of us has to carry this torch to light the beacons. It should be someone who's not Glitch, because Glitch actually has to use a weapon to attack, so I'll just carry it myself.
Okay.
Unless one of you wants to do it.
You know,
I
I trust you more than I trust me. As far as I know, one of these buttons just eats it, so...
There's no button to eat the thing.
That you're aware. Can't even tie a knot. I remember thinking these were super cool enemies back in, what was it, 2006, whenever this came out?
2005.
Well, honestly, like, it is kind of a flex to just like throw in some enemies that have the lower bodies of horses, if only because those are a pain in the ass to model and animate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They do
super cool.
use them a lot.
Yeah, they do use them quite a bit. But still, like, to have that...
you should.
I guess they're common in fantasy settings, but they're not that common in video game fantasy settings.
I mean, the game doesn't really have like orcs or goblins in it, so
That also feels like a very deliberate choice. I have of many minds about that personally, but it can work very well for a game that commits to it. I mean, this is obviously like within the same genre. Like, if like you're playing a like a sci-fi MMO that doesn't have any goblins, then I'm not like, wow, what a bold choice.
yeah.
Star Trek Online. What a bold choice not to have fuck goblins. I defaulted to the most generic thing I could think of. Oh, are there?
Yeah. I don't remember where the bonus is on this one. I don't think we'll bother with it, but
I seem to recall it being a pain in the
ass. I think it's worse on the second Shiver Peaks mission. But you know, these two missions kind of run together in my head, so I'm not 100% sure.
Not gonna lie, I couldn't even remember if there was a second mission.
I believe it might be our first encounter with Kilroy Stonekin, the game's Leroy Jenkins character. Because this game came out when that was the humor that was going down.
Yeah.
How, like, do people get jumped in on Leroy Jenkins these days? Like, is there some kind of pipeline that gets knowledge of Leroy Jenkins to the people who need it most?
I don't
Yes,
know.
I feel like there was just a recent thing where, like, they brought it back, or he featured prominently in some pop culture thing. Because I remember thinking, oh wow, I haven't thought about Leroy Jenkins in ages, and now they're, like, trying to make it happen again.
Do you think there's any point in us explaining who Leroy Jenkins is to spoiler warning viewers?
I feel like most of them know it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I could do a pretty quick job of it. Just, like, breaking it down.
Sure.
Yeah, so in the earlier days of World of Warcraft, there was a video which went viral before videos really could go viral, which
like
was of a
pre-YouTube.
guy, a bunch of people planning to do a raid using convincing sounding but false, like elaborate, detailed plans. And then one guy just runs in, like clearly not having listened to any of it, and gets everybody killed because that's all it took was one person to not be with the program. It's, you know,
And he yells
in some ways,
his character's name as a catchphrase, like times up Leroy Jenkins, and so that's why that's why the name is that anyone remembers. And yeah, this was like a staged thing. This wasn't actually a real thing that happened. It was a deliberate joke video.
They did a really good job with it because if you told me that it was a deliberate video, I'd believe you because it's the internet. But also, if you told me the opposite, I would believe you.
apparently, if you
It'd be
don't,
really cool if
as
these
I
guys would
didn't
stay
know
still.
any of the mechanics of the game, even when I was playing it, ultimately well enough to like poke any holes in it. But apparently, for people who are active in the raiding scene, it was the equivalent of like Trekno-babble.
Oh, like the whole setup where they're like, oh, we gotta go in and get the mind flayer and make sure you're back
I mean,
up
there was
on
a
heals or
guy
whatever.
calculating odds who was like 33.3 repeating. Like, it's like, well, nobody actually does that. No one talks like that.
And yet, you just did.
And eventually it turned out that the
Holding
reason
the
nobody talked
fucking-
that way is because you're expected to already have all the percentages memorized.
Yeah, but was that the case in like 2005?
Not really, I don't think, no.
This man's name is Ascalon Guard Tolis.
And I think that one reason why this stuck around so much wasn't just because of the original video was very funny, was because it, like, he became, like, the archetypal storytelling representation of just, like, a common kind of guy in video games, which I know very well because he's me, which is the person who fails to lock in a way that costs everybody else.
No,
Definitely
couldn't
not
be
something
you.
we've experienced recently.